Tack time, all the time. Come on, I take a knee, I take a kid and make him see, make him believe in chasing his dreams and destiny. Truly accept the knowledge, a part of the recipe. In order to have an impact, I first must invest in me. We sowing seeds, locally, globally, overseas. Integrity, dignity, yeah, we living by both of these. The seeds of my players had to take a knee to COVID please. The opponents keep taking knees on our neck, how it's supposed to breathe. Now look at me, I'm leading the movement like Booker T. Let's look at the aftermath when Kaepernick took a knee. When MLK took a march, Coretta Scott took a seat. I look defeat in the eyes and I declare victory. I'm walking long, I go for the gusto and 6 for me. Right when I cross the TD, I drop down and I take a knee. I'm giving God all the glory for giving the grace to me. Like I take a knee every morning and thank Him for waking me. I take a knee.
Hey. Good evening. Here we are, June 1st. We're back in Burbank, UBNGO studio with Tony Sweet. Hey, add a hashtag on that thing too when we want to get a hold of you, Tony. Absolutely. So tonight's show is going to be awesome. We're looking forward to our guests all the way from Maui. And then we have some updates that we normally want to do. But first, as we always do, we just want to say thank you to Coach Tutu out in Chicago for giving us the opportunity to utilize his song with every one of our guests. So we want to thank you for the tag time all the time, Coach Tutu, and engaging that thing to the Kaiea song this week. So thanks a lot for that. And our first update is we work with the group, Dream Givers and Project. They're all in one, and we have tonight is we have Coach Asura with Project. And what they've done is, Kaiea, you're going to love this. This is why one of the reasons why I want to get Asura on is because you know how it is with the 7-on-7s and people just don't care for them, because so Asura and they got the template on the 9s, so the 9s is and he'll let you know, but it's crazy. It's going to overrun it all. So Asura's going to give us an update on what's that is. So Asura, just run it by us real quick, please.
Hey, how you guys doing? So just the Project 9 that we're bringing to the table, a new concept that we're bringing to the off season. As we know, with try to keep going as the fall is done, and then we get into off season. Try to keep things going where we don't get away from the habits that are created during the off season. So we kind of implemented the linemen, kind of try to keep that team chemistry during the off season by keeping the team together, putting the offensive linemen and defensive linemen to be a part of what the skills does when they compete in the off season. We added 3 linemen, 2 defensive linemen. Gives a chance for the quarterbacks to go, to do their check downs and their reads and stepping up in the pocket when they got pressure coming from the outside, and then even coming from the inside to roll out to extend the play. So we try to keep it as similar as possible to the 11-man football. So that way they don't lose a step to when they get back to the fall, especially with the team chemistry and then even the coaching aspect of it. Try to keep it to where the coaches can implement new plays. This is a good platform to do that. They can implement new plays and try it out, see how it works and stuff like that. And then involve the running backs more. There's running in it. So it's pretty much the same. We try to provide that gap in between, I want to say flag football and the 11-man tackle football. I think the transition from the 9s to the tackle football, it's very similar. So the transition will be pretty smooth because everything they do in the 9s is pretty much what we do in tackle football already, minus tackling. So that's what we're doing with the 9s. We're trying to bring that and get that going and keep that team chemistry so we don't have to separate the skills and the linemen and them doing their own thing. So we're excited about it and we're ready to roll with it.
Awesome. Presenting that, we're hoping that when we land back in Maui, Coach, that hopefully we have some information already for you that's going to get there prior and to be able to enhance the, just the excitement of maybe we can get that thing to run over there. So thanks a lot, Asura, for sharing that with us. Also, an update that we want to do is, as everybody knows, if they've been watching the show, and if not, RTG is a big phase of what we do. It's the family seasoning, It takes away the redundancy of going and looking for a few things in your cabinet. So you really just be able to have to go grab the RTG and get yourself to work. So it's pretty cool. Just want to give a shout out to my wife, my son Jonathan, and my daughter-in-law Jackie for the work and consistency and dedication that they put together for the product itself. So I want to thank them very much. And another shout out goes to my cousin Milo down in San Diego with Por Vida. He just opened up another shop, people, and this was during the time when people say you just can't be doing that kind of stuff, and he consistently is always going against all the odds, and he's coming out on top. So that's another young Chicano entrepreneur that just literally puts himself out there on the line, and he challenges it. He does not live in a plateau atmosphere. He's elevated. He's walking forward and walking upwards every step. So we want to give him a quick shout out, and also to his team. You know, they do a great job. And also what Milo's done is he's provided his facility for us to get a round table concept started down in San Diego. And it's with entrepreneurs who are, and just a lot of us who are stuck in a plateau. We're content and comfortable. How do we get out of it? So we're really trying to find the nooks and crannies on establishing the right format to get this thing to work. And we started right around with 7, so now we're close to about 30 people that are involved in what we're doing. So we're excited about that. I want to thank Milo, Johnny, and Kaiea just for the work that they put forth in a round table. Also, we just got back from Canada. It was an incredible trip, and Asura was able to go with us on our first trip. So, Asura, can you touch base on your experience with the Canada kids?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, the Canada, wow. It was a great experience. Right when we landed, just the coaches there and the admin team that was there, it's a good thing and wonderful thing to see how much they embrace Coach Coco and then whoever comes with him. I could say his entourage. I was part of that, and the experience was great. And the kids, man, they were ready and hungry to learn and be coached up. I thought it was a pretty awesome experience with those kids, and got to know them and stuff like that. And you know, they're very interested in, because their rules are different from American football out here, and they come out to Texas and compete against these teams in Texas, and we come up there and we coach them up American rules, and they get ready to go. But the experience was wonderful, man, and how the coaches, how we bonded and stuff like that was great. It felt like we was part of the family, like we known each other for many years. So I could say it's part of like how we do it with, you know, our Polynesian culture. We see another Polynesian and we embrace each other and see where each other's from, and then, you know, we're one. So I had fun with it and had a great experience in Canada. Appreciate it, Coach.
Awesome. You know, I like that you touched base in regards to the relationship about family, ohana. You know, and Kaiea does the exact same thing. You know, on the island itself, we wouldn't have the relations that we have on the island if it wasn't for Kaiea's, you know, rooted culture. You know, he's a different kind of animal when he's on that island. So, you know, as we keep going and looking at this, we wouldn't be doing this show tonight if it wasn't for Tony Jefferson. And Tony Jefferson's back in their little OTAs. They're getting a few things in, and he's excited. He's excited about re-signing with the Ravens. He's back in his old number 23. So we want to say thank you, Tony, for giving us an opportunity just to share with people the seeds that are being dropped by the people we have on, and it wouldn't happen without that. You know, today, this week, next week, there's a lot of kids graduating from high school, and they're heading into the real world. I was blessed for 5 years to be a part of an incredible program at Centennial High School, and some of the kids that I coach are graduating. So I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the linebackers, Nathan Hill, Ethan, Jesse, and Gavin, you guys were the seniors. Noki, you were the senior. So you guys set a great example on how it's got to be done over there at Centennial High School. You guys follow the lead of Coach Logan and Coach Herring. And I just think I was blessed for 5 years to be a part of that program, but more importantly to have you guys working with me for the last 2 years. So I want to say thank you guys and enjoy being a graduate, but more importantly now, go out and get yourself done. Make it happen, okay? What we do too here is we give a student athlete of the week, and our last athlete that we gave out was to Aiden Caminero, and he is a cousin of mine's son. But it was the first time that we were able to give it to a family member. So tonight's it's even special one. I'm driving over here. I'm on the 210 freeway. I'm not by myself. I'm finally going to show up to the studio with somebody. And Tony says, "You're going to have somebody in studio?" And I said, "Yeah. I'm having Jade Soigné." Even wrote it down for him. And, it's awesome that you could drive with a 7-year-old, and it's my granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, Jade Soigné. And I told her the only reason why she's going to get to be on is because she's earned it. But more importantly, Tony Sweet doesn't deal with first graders on his show, and she's just finished her first grade, and she is a legitimate second grader now. So Jade could now be a part of the show. So we wanna welcome Jade to the show, and what's pretty cool is Jade has been extremely active all her life, and when I told her about Kaiea and the big stuffed animal, she knew exactly who you were. So that was awesome. But more importantly, Jade is going to be a scholar athlete. You can see it already, and she comes from good seeds herself. But more importantly, she's not your average 7-year-old. She's extremely active, and they just had a showcase. She does gymnastics. So in the showcase, and look, Jade, there it is right there. What are you doing up there, Jade? Right there. Come on, talk to us.
My show.
Your show, right?
Uh-huh.
So Jade is one of the youngest ones in the intermediate group, and we kept waiting, like, where's Jade? Where's Jade? And then these big girls come out, and Jade's with her. So we were blessed as grandparents to be able to go there and be able to see the work that she's put in. And she understands how your name's called. Your name's called by doing the hard work in the classroom, which she does that consistently and doing the right things at home and helping out. And then in her activities, she's really focused and gets really micro in the things she does. So just we're excited just to have Jade on the show. And we always say that the show is always elevating. And there we are right there. We're walking. And that thing, one of my things is it has to start somewhere. And we're walking right there, and we're getting ready for the audition for the showcase. So her mindset understands what she did. So we really feel that she earned her wings, and there she is. So Jade, we want to thank you for being on the show with Papa, and whenever you want to butt in and jump in, because that's what you do all the time when we're at home.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Jade.
Welcome.
Okay. Hey, but here we are, and all that's done. And we're here to welcome family, welcome an incredible entrepreneur, a mindset that can dangle with all of them, but more importantly, he's a true family member for me. So when I land on the island, I know I land real well. And I'll end up home or back on that plane. And when Kaiea comes over here, he knows that there's a roof and there's a place for him and his wife. That's awesome to say that. Him and his wife to be able to just come over there and hang out and lounge around. And that's what family does. So, we're excited to have Kaiea Medeiros on. And he's going to share with us, his journey from Kamehameha all the way to maybe getting back to Maui and joining in with the Take a Knee program. So Kaiea, we truly want to welcome you to the show and can't wait to hear and enjoy the seeds that you're going to be dropping for us to share. Here we go.
And mahalo. Mahalo, number one. I'm super grateful. A lot of your ike and your knowledge and your life lessons and the work that we put in together definitely was a large component of the individual that I am today. And then side mahalo to Tony for the opportunity to do this. I'm stoked to see you doing this, Coach. This is awesome. I'm stoked that Jade's on the set.
You hear that, Jade?
Uh-huh.
Let's go, Jade. What's up? Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, girl. Good to see you.
And show them the purple sign, Jade.
Tea.
No, purple, not the hang loose.
Oh, that was a strong shaka, though.
There's
Yeah.
there's the purple. She knows the
You
purple
already
sign.
know.
Yeah.
Easy.
You already know, girl. When you call purple, it's all in. Oh, so good to see her. She's a star. That's the future.
Awesome, Coach. Share with us your journey to the and it's going to be a long one. So we're ready to sit right here and hear it. So let's start off with you at Kamehameha High School. You know, you're full of piss and vinegar. You're ready to go forward. But more importantly, from there you head to ULV. Let's just talk real quick about that quick journey of yours.
Yeah. Crazy to think that was about 14 years ago now when I graduated from Kamehameha Schools, Maui. But yeah, I went to Kamehameha Schools my whole life from first grade until I graduated. When I started, Kamehameha Schools Maui was still residential homes, and today they're probably the one of the most beautiful campuses in the world, literally. So it's amazing to be a part of that growth and be a part of that hui, that ohana, growing up. And yeah, born and raised on the island of Maui. This is where all my roots are. My mom and my dad's side are both live here on Maui, and then also Kanaka being a Hawaiian. I have lineal descendants that go back to literally the darkness and light that started everything, and is why we're here today on this. For us on this beautiful island. It looked beautiful on the drive out on the 210 to the studio today, but yeah, drove that freeway many times. And yeah, I was fortunate. Life brought me to California, Southern California, where I went and attended the University of Laverne. Played there for 5 years. Started at offensive line, finished at defensive line. That's where I met Coach, and graduated there with my undergraduate and my master's degree. My master's is in leadership and development, with a concentration in organizational development. So yeah, it was a beautiful journey to get to Laverne and meet you, of course, Coach. I mean, that, like you shared earlier, it was definitely ohana. We were super blessed and grateful to have you and Aunt Robin and JJ and Walla and even Jade for a short while be a part of our Hanai ohana. So,
and Coach, what's kind of crazy is you kind of worked yourself through, you weaved yourself through it, and then you ended up finding yourself with the people that you gravitate to, and when that comes, you kind of feel that, in place. But you talk about, you go there and you get to meet me, you get to meet some people, you get to get a degree, you get your master's degree, and now kind of know what's happening. But more importantly, I think throughout the whole thing, I think he puts us on this place to meet the better half of our life. And can you touch base about that meeting that changed your life forever?
Yeah, it was a funny story. It was actually one of my teammates at Laverne, my sophomore year in college, introduced me to my wahine, who is now my wife. We just got married on 1/1/2022 on Alahea Kala. That was one of the photos. that we took on top of the mountain during our wedding. That was at sunrise on New Year's Day. One of my best friends, my football teammates from high school, he was our officiant. And it was just the immediate ohana. But that was on our 12-year anniversary. So we got married on our 12th year anniversary at Alahea Kala. Kalama, I know my screen is kind of shaky. It's handheld. I don't have the professional studio set up. But we met, my sophomore year, our sophomore years at the University of Laverne. Like you said, we just immediately had a connection. You know, you just go with the flow, and there are relationships, opportunities, work that the flow is a little more efficient, a little easier, a little more fun. So fortunately for me and Darlene, it was just immediately a connection. And yeah, we've been fortunate enough to be putting in the hana, the work together on our relationship, on ourselves as individuals. And she is 100% one of the main reasons where I'm at today and who I am as well.
Awesome. That was well rehearsed. So I'm glad you practiced those lines that I sent you. But that was well rehearsed. We all tend to do that.
Off the top of the dome.
Sir, we all tend to talk the same way.
Yeah.
Coach, okay, you graded out. That one right there, you graded out. That was awesome. But you know what?
I got the same script.
but it's authentic.
Earlier.
It was truly authentic. I love it. You know, for me, and getting over to the University of Laverne at that phase of your life, one of the things I remember being there early in the morning and just kind of scoping everybody out. And I'm one of those guys that always looks for the polys. Like, okay, you know, and when you look for them, you don't look for them all the way up. I look from the knees down, because in their calves, I could turn around and go, okay, that's a poly, right? And Kaia's got some mean calves. So when I looked at that, then along with all that mean looking that comes with it, it comes a gentle soul, you know. And when I talk about seeds, Kaiea, you know, a while back we talked about nuggets and gems. Come and listen to the show and get one of those. But then we really try to get micro. You know how we do. So as we started to get micro, we started to truly recognize that, you know, gems and diamonds and nuggets are fragments of something that was once great. And we want to display it. And then we started to hear what everybody was really doing, and they were dropping seeds. And the seeds grow. And if you nourish it, they harvest to become something that's going to be beneficial to humans. You know, and in a sense, we looked at seeds in the manner of souls. So the S is the souls, and the E, in your case, you enrich your soul. The other E, you elevate your soul. And the D, you're dedicated to your soul. And then the S and C, the final S, is you sacrifice your soul. And I look at those kind of people are kind of the people that are really, I see Tony in the same manner, my granddaughter same manner, and who's on the screen in the same manner. So in a sense, that kind of gravitates to each other. So when I got involved with Syrup, just like when you came in, I tend to gravitate to you guys in a sense, and it was a blessing to be able to recognize that big guys as you guys are, I just feel safe around, and I just want to say thanks for opening up, because really it's just opening up, and you guys opened up and we've embraced it, and now here we are today. So I'd like to say that during that phase of growth, even in your growth, that we both grew at the same time, because after that you ended up being part of what we do at CHS, you know, and you're an integral part of things that really got me to be who I am today. You know, they say like every 4 or 5 years you self-mold yourself, and that was a smoothing curve for me that some of you guys that committed to what I was doing was pretty awesome. So can you touch base on the influence that CHS had, within your life too?
Oh my gosh, that whole experience was a championship experience. That's literally what it was. We were definitely, and for me, at least as an individual, was super grateful and fortunate to be a part of a program that developed a championship culture that, we all put the work in, and it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but as you alluded to earlier, really what that program at the core, it was about aloha. And that's the seeds that, we were planting, but it was wrapped in a championship, high level, just efficient, effective, of course, always room for improvement, but, overall top of the line program. So, that's the program that I attempt to apply to my life, in under the circumstances that I operate within, and to be genuine, be authentic, but use those values and that system as best as I possibly can, because the knowledge and the lessons that I learned from being a part of that environment and that culture and that experience were invaluable.
Awesome, Coach. And I always remember, and there was a game, and Kaiea's doing the D line of Sura, and the D lines we weren't really big and physical, and they were moving on us a little bit. There was that movement. The reestablish of the line of scrimmage was being reestablished, and I turned to Kaiea and I said, Kaiea, look at the guys we have in. And he goes, look behind me. You want any of those ones in? And it was like, all right, you're doing a great job. And I just kept walking. But I was like, man, it was so, man, that was so authentic, so genuine that it was like, you're right. But, I'll never forget that.
Some of those kids were making plays, though.
Yeah.
You could lean on them. But, hey, one of them would eventually break a play, and we get a Semental in the backfield or a Elizalde making a tackle for loss. It's like, whoa, where did these guys come from?
Exactly.
The training and development that I was fortunate to, gain and learn and just grow and cultivate through that program.
It's funny that you say that, because Asura, his project group, and the Take and E group were in alliance with each other, and we got to experience that kind of deal when we're in Canada for the 3 days and the 5 practices. You just got to see it evolve and get to work, and like I think the commonality is you touch that you do it in your life. So I do it in my life, and I've implemented that. My kids, they don't even realize, but they do it in their life, and it's a trickle. It's a trickle down, and it's just grabbing something from everybody that I've ever coached with, and then add a little bit to myself, and really that's what we all do in life. There's certain things that work down the road, and we're able to gravitate to it, embrace it. The next thing you know, it's no longer a wrench. It's a spider wrench, but it's still a wrench. But it's your wrench. You turned that into you, and by doing that, you had an itch to get back to the island, and you went back to Maui. And then by going back to Maui, I remember when I first went over there, man, with you. We did 2 days of traveling and doing nothing about football. We just was filming the island. And you were telling me about, look at the water coming down right there, down that thing. It starts to filter through the rocks, and by the time it hits the ground, you could drink it. Here, there, and that. All that stuff was amazing to me, because, you demonstrated the culture of your island, and within just those visits, authentically and genuinely, I realized that to get embraced, just like you Polynesians do, when you come over here, you bring gifts for everybody. You know, it was like, well, what can I do in an island to be that instead of just take? So my thing was, and Kaiea says, Coach, we'll just give clinics, and we'll do it a few times over here. And by the time we were done, we were ready to have a really good one, you know, and then the COVID hit. But I think the cool thing that happens within that is, and you dive into somebody's culture, you recognize values, and when one's values embrace, and that's when that person is going to truly recognize that there's value there. And I know with both of you guys on the screen right now, you've embraced some of the values that Take a Knee or what Coco has to offer. I've embraced some of the things Project has to offer, and I've truly embraced what Kaiea has to offer in regards to his backyard and Maui, and just the authentic and genuineness that you have. So can you just touch base on the excitement of getting back to Maui and then adding Take a Knee into the process of your mindset into that phase?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Take a Knee is always a part of my mindset. It is that truly accepting knowledge. You know, that was one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned, was to be a lifelong learner. So it was just, as you shared earlier, it's the similar values that's very important to, you know, relationship building. But it was quite the journey. So to even get back to Maui, I mean, I don't even have enough time on this podcast to, like, there was always the itch to get back, of course, because this is where my roots are. This is where my ohana is. But, you know, timing is something that you can't really plan for a lot of times. So
Absolutely.
we wanted to come home, but never really had the opportunity to until life literally decided for us. And that's when we moved home to Oahu. And then we took care of our ohana that we needed to take care of. And then from there, shortly after, moved back to Maui, which was always the plan. We just didn't know when. Life decided when. And so, of course, with me everywhere I go is Take a Knee. It's Coach Coco. It's the ohana over there. Jade, the whole fam, everywhere I go. So, of course, when we came back to Maui, we needed to have Coach Coco. We needed to have the ohana here. We needed to share the ike, because like you said, like even for us, anywhere we travel, for example, we don't want to just go to someone else's land and just take. We want to go to give, to serve. How can we help? How can we kokua? So that's why I'm super grateful, because I can say unequivocally the ike and knowledge that Take a Knee and you and the program, the ohana, can bring here to Maui, can really establish a championship mindset and mentality and psychology that is needed from top to bottom. And that's from government to high school to public, private, everyone on Maui. I mean, 99% we can definitely embrace a Take a Knee mentality and a championship psychology.
You know, awesome, Coach. Sir, I see you nodding your head on that. Kind of, what's trickling in your mind right there?
It's just like what Kaiea said. You know, that was my biggest thing, was the truly the TAK, right? The truly accepting knowledge, and just like when we went to Canada, it was all that, because we after the camp was done, we'll go out with the coaches. They'll feed us, and all it was just talking about schematics and football, and then how to improve these youth and stuff like that. And it was awesome to just sit there and take it all in and receive all that. Even though we went there to do, you know, the coaching aspect of it, but then also just becoming, just like Kaiea said, is just taking it all in and stay learning. So that's one of my biggest thing and my biggest mindset with Take a Knee is just once you stop learning, then you stop growing. So I just think it's a great thing that's just like you said, it's trickling around and that's what I love about Take a Knee is just truly accepting knowledge from different coaches and other people. And it's just not just football. It's truly what you do in life as well. So yeah, that's why I'm shaking my head like, man, that's awesome to hear from others because it's the same way I take it in as well. So
awesome. So, like I said, when your values embrace, then you truly recognize you have value. So hearing that is really refreshing. That's why we talk about life a lot, and on this show a while back we had the Kaiea on. I don't know if you remember, Tony. We had the Kaiea on, and he was talking about getting ready to go to or he just came from an event of a celebration of life, and his thing was that's when somebody, they really don't know their value, but now when someone's dead or they're laying in a casket, you go up there and say, well, this person's this, and man, when he did this thing right there, it really affected me, so I do that now within my family. So he goes, he wants to change the whole thing and says now he wants people to recognize, and that's how we start at the round table, is just going up to like, hey, Kaiea, just want to thank you. The way you're so authentic, so mellow, and you present yourself, to be that guy is something that I look after, and it's something that I want to be able to portray as opposed to just always being a stern person. I like to be able to portray that I'm some kind of calm and mellow. So people that just know me for maybe the last 2 years or 3 years, they think that I'm a calm and mellow person, because that's a value I think that you have that I just right now just said I should share it with you, as opposed to, man, I became a calm and mellow guy when you're sitting in a casket. That's not good. Right. But value, when it's embraced for us growing now in the future, someone that has some value, let them know. Let them know and let them know that you embraced it. And I think that's awesome with us. You talked about taking a knee, truly accepting knowledge. Well, it's vice versa. When I'm taking a knee, you're taking a knee. And I say it all the time. There's a T on your thigh, a K on mine, and an A joins us together with a Roman arc. That means we're bonded for life. And really that's who we are right now. I think it's pretty awesome. But as we move forward at halftime, you get married. Mm-hmm. You get married and you touch base on it. And there you are right there. It's incredible when you get up to that mountain and to be there for the sunrise. Lord, talk about a blessing on that one, Coach. How was that? You didn't stutter, man. You just said I do, right? It's hard to stutter on that one, because if you stuttered on that one, it sounds kind of shitty, like I do. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that. So I just tell everybody to practice that authentically.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. No, it was a strong I. It was a strong yes. I told her I do, and it was beautiful. It was Ho'ailona. It was divine. I mean, it was the New Year's Eve. It was super cloudy, pouring rain on top of Alaheakala, which is the mountain that we are near the top of. And we're just going to chance it. We got rain jackets, we got umbrellas. Brian Pully, who is my brother from high school, who's a firefighter now. He has his own landscaping business, and he is a wedding officiant on top of it all. So he was down to come on New Year's Day, sunrise, and brave the elements. He was like, I'm down to go. And we only needed 2 witnesses, so 2 Ohana was gonna make it up there no matter what. And so we were gonna chance it. And so we got ready, just like, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be awesome. No worries. Like, we're just going with the flow. Just put the aloha out there. And we head up at around 4:30 in the morning. It's about an hour or so drive to about 9,500 feet elevation. Me, Darlin, who's my wife and Wahine, and Brian. just to clarify. And Brian, probably, our brother, we head up in our car and we get up there, and it was still kind of overcast, and you can tell it had rained. But as soon as we all got out of the car, and Brian went up and to the area where we were gonna have our ceremony, and me and Darlene were still down below by the car. There was just this like super loud, bright flash of just thunder and lightning just right overhead, just rained down on us. And all of us were like, oh my gosh, we're raging, because Kahikili, the thunder and lightning does not fool around up there. So fortunately, literally the next moment, it just opened up. The skies opened up. You could see every single star in the sky. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful ceremony.
Well, you know, they say that, you know, not they say, but this is what you told me, when you get up there and the rain starts to come at you, because he's blessing you guys. So that wedding was blessed, and then he opens up the sun, and there it is, man. You couldn't ask for a better setting, huh, sir? That's the way you planned it, Coach. That's truly the way you planned it, right? That's what you do. So
that's another podcast on how we even planned it. So we'll save that for the next one.
Yeah, to be continued.
Yeah.
So Coach, so we get that done, and then all of a sudden I just know you're bowling, you're trickling, and now you're in a new gig. I'm even calling you the Maui culture farmer. You know, you're getting everybody's cellular health up to date. Can you touch base on your new business and because look at you, just talk about it. You can see the passion in you right now. So touch base on that one right there.
And I love that title, because I love titles. So Maui Culture Farmer was a great one. I appreciate that title. I was like, I never heard it communicated or labeled like that. And that's actually pretty spot on. I mean, that's really we like to believe that we're pretty dynamic, and we're doing a lot of different services and projects, and we're on a larger mission, but there's of course a lot of smaller missions in between. So we're really just taking a knee, staying humble, staying consistent, staying steady, and really what we're doing is attempting to recolonize our psychology, and really what you shared earlier is exactly the core, the micro of our psychological practices, which is planting those seeds, sowing seeds of aloha, and aloha within yourself first, because when you're recolonizing, when you're regenerating Aina that has been totally just destroyed over the past 250 or so years, Maui and Hawaii in general, our Aina, our land over here, our people over here, we're really on a recolonizing mission to regenerate our psychology. And at the core of that practice is practicing self-aloha, which is aloha Aina, love for your land, and then love for yourself, and taking care and cultivating that love and that aloha within yourself. So really establishing a program and programs, whether it's economically, legislatively, and 100% educationally, K through 14, having a systematic approach to a program that develops these behaviors that Miss Jade Soigné is excellent at executing already at such a young age, training and developing and mentoring and leading that mentality, actions, and behaviors every moment of every day, because that's what champions do. Take a knee.
Awesome, Coach. And listening to that, it's like you probably don't work no more. You know what I mean?
Hana. That's what we call it. It's in Olelo, Hawaii, in Hawaiian. The work is called Hana. Like how we went to Hana.
Yeah.
Similar spelling, different meaning, but the Hana is just the work. but it's the work on yourself. It's the work on your ohana. It's the work on your hui. It's the work on cultivating aloha and continuing to plant those seeds of aloha. That's the hana. And we are doing that nonstop.
That's awesome, Coach. That we have it. We have that footage right there. We have this right now because that should be involved in every culture. I think it's awesome. You know, Coach, as we get into the second half of your life now, knowledge I think is what's truly needed for a toolbox. You know, and the more you acquire it, you get it done. But we just finished, in a sense, we're getting out of this whole COVID gig, and you know, you already see where you're at. You're already elevated. You got married, and you know, you gave that phase of it up, and then now you're doing the crazy things within the natural resources of the island itself. But I'm gonna throw a few names out here, and people just get a quick say what you want to say. But you know, I think your mom and dad are awesome people in regards to having you guys back. Can you touch base on them, please?
Oh yeah, and my papa too, who is my mom's dad, my grandpa, and then as well as you know, my dad's grandparents, and you know, as well our whole kupuna, all of our kupuna, you know, from my parents and going all the way back to our ancient ancestors. You know, they definitely laid down a strong foundation for the ohana unit, and how to really aloha and care for everyone. That is what I was fortunate to be a part of, is that village, that ohana mentality. I mean, definitely driven by my mom, Kamanu'ena. My dad would and should, he always does, give her and her ohana all the credit. But I mean, he was definitely a big part in my foundation and who I am today as well. So yeah, they are definitely the reason why I was able to take larger risks with a lot, you know, a little more security, because I knew that I always had their support, and they always had my back, and I always had their back, and still till today, continue to aloha each other and take care of our ohana.
You know, Coach, I think all of us growing up, there's a certain individual that people call a mentor. You know, I look in different fields, and I have a mentor in different fields. But when you look at someone to be able to, someone to spit out that person was a mentor for me, so there's always an impactful person. And who would that be in your life?
Well, I mean, I have countless, and I'm super fortunate, but I mean, the best one to definitely share and mahalo and give aloha to tonight is to Coach Coco. Because Coach Coco has been an amazing mentor in my life. As we touched on earlier, I mean, that championship mentality, that micro mentality, that taking it one rep at a time mentality, focusing on every single inch, step, where are your eyes, that attention to detail within a football program. I've been fortunate enough to be able to utilize those tools and apply them to another program that is what I'm working on today, essentially. But yeah, I mean, Coach Coco has been one of the greatest mentors I could have ever asked for. And I would have never even had thought to ask for Coach Coco. So I'm just grateful to have had Coach Coco as a mentor, and we're gonna still have so many more opportunities to grow and give aloha and take care of our ohana, and we got a lot of hana to do, Coach. That's why we need to get back on Maui, because we got some serious hana that we're doing, and you need to be, and you are, and your ohana are a part of it. So
awesome. I appreciate that, Kaiea. And you know, a gentleman named Milo Epling.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Milo too. I haven't reached out to him in too long. I definitely need to, but him and his ohana were super kind. I mean, even his wahine, his wife, she was super kind to me when I was substitute teaching at El Roble Middle School in the PE department, holding it down. And but definitely Coach Milo, his spirit, his values, his mentality, his ohana style of management and leadership is one of the many things that I'm grateful for when it comes to Coach Milo as a mentor.
Awesome. Milo's will definitely get a hold of this thing and appreciate that as well. Coach, you're a product from a school, Kamehameha High School, that you have to have a percentage or so of Hawaiian in you, and I think in just listening to you and think how influential that upbringing in the Kamehameha is. How was that for you?
That was another invaluable experience. I think if I don't get into Kamehameha during the time that I did in my life, which was at a very young age, I was still first grade when I attended Kamehameha Schools Maui. But overall, the Kamehameha Schools program is a very quality program. It does have a very high level of organization, and there are so many opportunities for education within the Kamehameha school system. But yeah, a lot of the, especially administrative skills that I've been able to, and communication skills that I've been able to develop today is because of Kamehameha schools. So I am grateful for that, and then especially from a sports perspective as well. The lessons I learned from there as well is just countless and invaluable, and opportunities as well.
That's awesome, and listening to you just in that quick little phase, sir, it sounds like he's just going to Home Depot and finding the right material to build a nice home. But you're picky and choosy on what aisle you're going into and what brand you're getting, and it really reflects on who you are. As we get into a second half, there's always a sudden change in a football game, and anything. There's always something that's dramatically has its moment, and at that phase when you're on the field, if you're a worker, an employee, or someone, they got to look up to somebody. So in a sudden change, the teams usually go out by the numbers, and then they get to go talk to Coach Kaiea, and he kind of gives them the calm, and then they're able to go back and hopefully win the first down off of that sudden change and get back into the groove. That's called a work-to-win mindset, a championship vision. And what do you see with adversity and how the new universe, and you're in a new universe now, and how do you leverage your strengths as a GPS for those that you inspire? Because as this thing starts to grow, your consistency on how you posture yourself, I think it's really important, and that in a sense gets you to be solid, and the foundation is that truly where you can hang your hat. Can you touch base on that, Coach?
Yeah, definitely. And this is also a TAK inspired practice that I've been fortunate to continue to develop and focus on, and that's to develop and focus on self and what I can control, which is my actions, my efforts, my behaviors, my attitude. That's generally in life the only guarantees that I can control. So that's what I focus on. I do my best to just focus primarily on developing championship behaviors and actions, one rep at a time, focusing on what I can actually control, and then live with the results and learn from that rep, apply what I learned from that rep to the next one. And then you just continually do that every single rep, and you do it at the highest level possible, at a championship level, so that when that day does come where you're in that championship game, you're like, well, this is just another day.
Yeah. I like that. You know, how how important is it to make sure in starting this new venture in your life that you know, people say that I got a circle, and other people say within that circle I got a bucket, you know, and then within that bucket you have a cereal bowl. How important is it to make sure that cereal bowl is always filled with the right cereal and the right milk?
Yeah, it's the hana. That's what we just keep putting in. The hana is that's where the mana is. So the mana, the power is in the hana. So that's why we just focus on our ohana, the ones that are ready and willing and wanting to put the hana in to go and do what we got to do to accomplish this mission and develop this program and achieve what we want to achieve. And you gotta, as another TAK principle, you gotta either be all in or you're all out. So when you're all in, you're all in. Let's put this hana in. Let's get this work in. Let's get this championship reps, every single rep. But if you're not all in, then let me know when you're all in.
Hey, Asura, as you're listening to Kaiea, it sounds like we're in a like just a Zoom meeting with the defensive staff or so like that, huh? Because it kind of sounds the way we talk.
All right.
You know, and
Championship mindset, he said. There it is.
there it is. You know, it's not about hanging out; it's about getting out and getting it done,
That's
right? And what's next? Next man up.
Right.
And NMU, I do a thing on NMU, Tony. I do a thing NMU, next man up. And people say New Mexico University, no, it's next man up, dude. That's who it is with Tony Sweet. That's what we're working with. But you know, as the game gets to an end, you come to that 2-minute warning, and we're at that phase. And within that 2-minute warning is how do you handle your deadlines, peacefully when they're yours or not yours, but just plain as do. Excuse me. And with that, how do you embrace all those deadlines? And some people start handling those deadlines and don't want nothing to do with them. But when you're on a mission and you're starting something new, you know there's going to be a whole lot of sudden changes and a whole lot of deadlines. So how do you stay hungry to make sure those deadlines are coming back at you?
Yeah, so we're super fortunate that what we do with Konlonize specifically and also just how we live our life and just what we're doing with Konlonize is it really is just that one rep at a time approach. So, you know, we just take it one rep at a time. You know, we do what we got to do. We learn the lessons that we need to learn, and we lean on each other. We understand that it's a kuleana. So a kuleana is more interconnected and deep within you than any job, task, or deadline you'll ever have. I mean, kuleana is a generational mission to address countless missions that we have to go on to address this kuleana. So that's why it's when those deadlines come, because they do come. If you do any type of paperwork, you know there's deadlines. But we just put the hana in, and we just make sure we're continuously reprioritizing, re-examining. We always do our best to step back. We'll talk a lot more later too, how we actually utilize the moon phases, kamahina, to dictate actually a lot of our professional and personal actions and behaviors to better position us to be more efficient and effective as individuals. But you know, just understanding, to get to a long-winded point, is you know, you just lean on your team, and that's ultimately who it always comes down to, is the team, is the hui, is the ohana, and that's what you lean on.
You know that's awesome. Just hearing this this all of this unfold, you know, as we let it be. But as it unfolds, Coach, I think down the road we want to be able to have this page on Take a Knee, and the steps of it. I think that people will embrace that, Asura. You know, and listening to it, it's pretty exciting, and I think it's elevating. You know, it's definitely something that's on the shelf of getting you off of a plateau mindset. You know, and for me, that I think that's something that we would love to share, you know, wholeheartedly, you know, with the Take a Knee program, right with it. You know,
be our honor, Coach.
Yeah. So, and you know, as we get into it, there's always the last play of the game, and in our situation, you know, we know the Lord don't create nothing less than great. So the last play of the game, we either taking a knee because we won, or we're going for it to win. So, you know, and my last play of the game is, what do you leave for those that resonate that's going to help their program elevate, help their mindset, you know, elevate, going forward, going upwards, but never looking back, never sitting on a counter with your back on a shelf where you have to look behind you. None of that. You know, you are definitely the center of your universe. So, you know, people say, well, what do you leave, Coco? I leave, and, you know, a little every day and every way we get a little better. You know, tack time all the time, add a hashtag on that. But really, what do you leave? Because the show is ready to about the last play. So you get the last shot.
I will leave the last play with the mana is in the hana. You got to just put in the work on yourself, cultivating yourself, putting love into yourself, taking time for yourself, because you can't count on the world or life to provide those things for you, but it's within your control to provide for yourself. So put the hana to cultivate that. That's where the mana is. And then once you get your mana up, then we keep putting hana in, because that's what we do. We just keep putting that work in. 4th and 1, taking a knee, you already know it's a championship rep.
It's a championship rep, baby. Right? So, you know, in hearing that, literally in hearing that, you know, Osura's been a part of the program a bit. I know you watched that. And we always end it with just this, because it accumulates it all. Tack time all the time. Say it.
Come on, Jay.
Come on, say it. Add a what?
All the time, Jay.
Add a hashtag on that. Let's do it again. Tack time all the time.
Add a hashtag.
There we go. So, Kaiea, we just want to thank you for being on the show tonight. You know, and for us, that's a wrap. You know, that was awesome. Once again, we want to thank Tony Jefferson for giving us the opportunity for these seeds to drop. You know, now it's our job to make sure that we get them nourished, and then we're going to harvest these things as it goes. But we want to thank Tony for giving us that opportunity. We want to thank the family for always supporting what I'm doing. You know, and there they all right there. What's crazy when you look at that whole family, Tony Jefferson's in the middle of all of us. You know, he says this all the time that you know, my other last name is Harin. I'm Tony Harin. So, you know, we are kind of close like that. So it's awesome, and we want to thank him again. And you know, there's nothing else except for those of you who are listening, or those of you that are out there. Go forward. You know, we don't need to be who we were yesterday. As long as your mindset says, I want to be that, then be that. Look beyond the mountain and recognize where you're going to sit and go and make it happen. Just like Kaiea's done, just like Asura's done, but more importantly, just like everyone should be doing. Go out there and make it happen. So just want to thank everybody. You know, that's the tack time, and once again, want to thank Coach Tutu for giving us an opportunity to start the show and end the show with his lyrics. Thanks a lot, Asura. Thanks a lot, Kaiea. Appreciate you guys.
Tack time, all the time, all the time. Tack time, all the time. Come on. Tack time, all the time, all the time. Tack time, all the time. Come on. I take a knee, I take a kid and make him see, make him believe in chasing his dreams and destiny. Truly accept the knowledge of part of the recipe. In order to have an impact, I first must invest in me. We sowing seeds, locally, globally, overseas. Integrity, dignity, yeah, we living by both of these. The seeds of my players had to take a knee to cope with these. The opponents keep taking knees on our neck, how we supposed to breathe. Now look at me, I'm leading the movement like Booker T. Let's look at the aftermath when Kaepernick took a knee. When MLK took a march, Coretta Scott took a seat. I look defeat in the eyes and I declare victory. I'm 4th alone, I go for the gusto at 6 for me. Right when I cross the TD, I drop down and I take a knee. I'm giving God all the glory, giving the grace to me. Like I take a knee every morning and thank him for waking me.